And I've been doing these classes, whether it's the yoga classes or the mindful movement classes, which involve yoga and all that kind of stuff that we do today, whether it's the cardio stuff, I've been doing it for over 10 years, but also with Gathering Strength, we're doing it for about 5 years now. With these classes, the main thing to think about here is this is your class. I'm just here to guide you the best that I can through this. And I'm going to help you each step of the way. So if there's any adjustments or any adaptations that you need, I'll be here to show you that. But also, if you need some extra adaptations of that, or you think of something later on, you can always message us. If you reach out to Liz or to Lacey, they can pass any messages on to me, and then we can help to make these sessions as accessible and as adaptable to your abilities and needs as it possibly can be. So be sure to do that. With the session that we're going to be doing today, it's a mindful movement session. It's a nice, relaxing, easy session designed to help you to do some breathing, some mobility work, and just overall help you to relax and move, hopefully, a little bit easier with what you can do. With that in mind, if you do need to take any breaks as well, just have the break, join back in where you're ready to. I'm going to do the best to describe these exercises to you. You can follow along the best you can, but if there's any extra adaptations you need to do and you feel like you can do that, absolutely fine. Good. With that out of the way, let's get on with the session itself. We're going to get ourselves into a nice, comfortable position, however that looks for you. And we'll start with some nice deep breathing. First of all, going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just start to relax it down there. Just nice, slow, deep breathing. In, out. Over the next couple of breaths, if you haven't already done so, be sure to close your eyes and focus that breathing inward. Start to shut down the noise around us just by breathing, focusing on that breath. Breathe in, breathe out, and repeat through just nice, gentle, deep breathing. And if you can, try and make that out breath to be longer than the in breath as well. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, just extend it. Good. Notice how that breath, as you breathe in, notice how it inflates the lungs, lifts the chest up, opens up that rib cage, sends all that oxygen around the body. And as you breathe out, notice how it relaxes your shoulders down. Naturally, your nervous system starts to relax too, and you just start to relax as you breathe out. Think about that both as you breathe in, how the lungs feel, how it impacts your body, and as you breathe out, also noticing how it is, how it feels as you're breathing here. Just becoming aware of what that breath is causing. And hopefully by now, keep the breathing going. But we're in a much more relaxed state, which is great. Now we're in this relaxed state. Let's just remind ourselves that we've got over probably the hardest task of do this session, which is just turning up. So now we're here, now we've shown up and we've got over that first hurdle. Now we want to make sure, first of all, we thank ourselves for doing that and saying, this is good. Well done to ourselves for being here. But now we are here, reminding ourselves to stay focused on the task at hand. So whether that's the breathing we're doing, whether that's the movement, whatever it may be, remaining focused on this next hour. And that's just going to help us to make sure we're doing everything to the best of our ability and not just going through the motions. So first of all, thank yourself and remind yourself to be focused here. Good. Keep that breathing going and you can open up the eyes again. And as you breathe in now, I want you to shrug the shoulders up, squeeze them nice and tight. And as you breathe out, relax them back down again. And just cycle through that in your own time and pace. Whenever you breathe in, shrug the shoulders up, squeeze them tight. And as you breathe out, just relax them down. Don't worry about timing it with my breath. Time it with your breath, however long it takes you to breathe in. That's what I want the squeeze shoulders to be. And whatever it takes to breathe out, relax them down. And by just squeezing these shoulders here as we do this. We're essentially pumping that muscle. That's going to help to send blood to that region, which is going to be really helpful just to keep things mobilized and to send all the nutrients that our body has through the bloodstream into the areas that need it and to keep things moving nice and easy. Good. So breathing in, shrugging up, squeezing it nice and tight. And as you breathe out, relax it down. And if you want to mix up a little bit, as you bring the shoulders up, squeeze them. Try and squeeze the shoulder blades together as well as you shrug up. So not just up, but squeeze the shoulder blades and then relax them down. Good work. Now just adds a slightly different dimension to it. We're engaging the muscles slightly differently. Because as we discussed in previous sessions, there are so many muscles and joints within that shoulder region. Just a slight change in angle makes it feel a whole lot different because we're working a whole different muscle there. Good. Keep this breathing thing going, but instead of shrugging up and down, we're going to come forwards. So push forwards with the shoulders. And as you come back, squeeze those shoulder blades back behind us. I'm going to come a bit closer and turn to the side as well so you can see it from there. So with this, we want to push forwards as we breathe out. And as we breathe in, bring it back, squeeze those shoulder blades together and go back and forth between the two, nice and gentle and controlled. Good work. Keep the breathing going. But now let's just do some shoulder rotations. So just going round in a circle. It doesn't matter which direction you go because we will be changing again in a bit. But just keep that going. Nice, gentle movements round. See a few more people have joined us here. Welcome in those who have joined us since we started. Let's change direction now with that. Go the opposite way. Good work. Okay, what we're going to do is bring our hands onto our shoulders and then continue the rotations around, just like we did just then, but just hands on the shoulders. When I say on the shoulders, don't lock them into position and then force yourself around. They can glide on top of the shoulders there and just keep it moving around nice and gentle. And if you can't do a full circle, or a big circle, just do what you can. You may find as well that you might want to do one arm a couple of times and then switch over to the other side. Or you might do both at the same time or alternating, whatever it may be. Just find what works for you. Just getting those arms going around with the hands roughly on the shoulders anyway. And let's change direction and go the opposite way now. And again, you can do both together, just a single arm, alternating arms, whatever you want to do, just to get them going round. Good. All right, relaxing out of that one a little bit. Okay, we're going to bring our hands together in a prayer position. We're going to reach up above our head we're going to come out and around and then back down. Now, I did say right above our head, but do the best you can. If you can go above your head, please continue with doing that right the way around. If you can't quite get all the way above your head, just get to where you can, if that's just above the head, or even just in front of us. Just try and get the biggest circle so that you can as you come out and around. You can almost imagine you've got like a big pane of glass in front of you and you've got like a cloth in each hand. You're trying to reach right the way out, the furthest you can as you do that. Good work. So go up, out, and around. Now, an extra little step, if you can do this, is try and keep the elbows as close as you can together as you reach up. They naturally want to separate, so let them as you do that, and then out and around. That just adds a little extra dimension in that first bit. So keeping that elbows close together. And also, if you need to, you can always do this, the single arm variation as well. So you can just do the one arm or alternating, so you can swap and do the other side. Whatever it may be, find the adaptation that works for you, whether it's not quite reaching up as much or just doing single arm. Good work. And try and keep that breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. Sometimes when we do some of these movements, it can be tempting just to hold your breath for a long time whilst you're trying to balance and that kind of thing. But try and keep it nice and natural with the breathing. Good. Let's change direction, go the opposite way now. So come down, biggest circles we can, palms together and bring them down in front of us. Good. So just might find a little bit of a shift of where you feel it on this one. I tend to find when I'm going the first way, I get a little bit more in my chest. And when I come this way, I get a little bit more in my back. And I wish I could say why that is, but I don't actually know why that is really. I think just sometimes when you do things slightly differently, it shifts that focus and shifts how you concentrate on it. Good. Okay. We're going to bring our hands roughly around about shoulder height. You can do either both or just one. And for this, now we're going to breathe, push one hand out as we breathe out, breathe in, pull it back in. Breathe out with the other hand, push the hand out, and then as you bring it back in, breathe it in. So breathe out, hand out. Breathe in, bring it in. And just repeat through the best you can do. Keep that going. Now, if you can fully extend that arm, or at least the best you can on this, but if you can't fully extend that arm, just get to wherever you can. If that's just a shorter version, that's fine. But just get to where you can on this, reaching those arms forwards. Good work. And just keep that breathing going, nice and consistent. Good work. Okay, we're going to extend that a little bit more. So if you're able to, all I want you to do is to reach forwards, lean forwards as much as you can. Bring the head down in line a little bit as well and bring it back in. You've got some options to make it easier for you. So if you can just reach forwards without holding on and bringing it back, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to continue with that. But if you need to, you may need to put one hand on the lap as you reach forwards and bringing it back. But some of you may have your laptop or phone or whatever it is on a desk or something. So feel free to hold on to that desk as you reach forwards. As you bring it back. So just breathe out, push out, reach forwards best you can. Breathe in, bringing it in. And with that reach forwards as well, try and get a stretch as you reach it forward. You'll naturally find one in sort of the upper back, sort of round about the back of the armpit area. And bringing it in. Good work. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. Good work. We're going to do it a little bit more of an extension now. So as you reach forwards, do so as we already did. But as we come back, come up and over, right the way round and then down behind us. Repeating onto the other side. So reach forwards, lean down, get that stretch, then come up, over the top, and down behind us. And just repeat through that. Nice movements there. Good work. If you're not able to get the biggest circle up and over, just come across the side, maybe even do it with a slightly bent arm. But just whatever you do, just try and do the best that you can. Reaching forwards, reaching up and around. And those that I can see on screen look like they're doing a fantastic job. And for those who aren't or haven't got their cameras on, not a problem. You never have to, it's never an obligation to put your camera on. But if you ever feel comfortable with doing so, it'll be great as well because I can watch your technique and how you're doing things, etc., and maybe give you some guidance as we go through this. But again, it's never an obligation to do so. Good work. Okay, bringing it into the middle. Going to do a similar one on the next one, but instead of going forwards or back, we're going to go out to the side. So let's start with the first one here, reaching out to one side, bringing it in, and then out to the other side, and bring it back in. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. Good work. Now let's reach it a little bit further. So as you reach over, you can lean into it. I'm using some support here at the same time. And then bring it back in. Over to the other side, reach out. Best we can, bringing it back in. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. Excellent, everybody. Just doing the best we can to reach out, stretch it out to the side, bring it back in. Use that support with the other arm if you need it, or don't go as far if you can't support yourself with the other arm. But let's add a little bit extra to this one as well now. So reach out the best we can. And as we come back, we can come up over the top and then down to the opposite side. Then we reach out to the other side, up and over and down. It's almost like we're trying to put a seatbelt on, but in a very elaborate way. So coming up and over, you're coming down, you're almost clicking the belt in there. And then repeating over on the other side. If you can't come up and over the top, then I want you to come across the best you can. So that might be slightly elevated or lower down, just wherever you can get to with reaching the arm over. Excellent work, everybody. Keeping that moving. Nice, gentle, but sweeping motions. Yeah, bringing it into the center. And let's just do some shoulder rotations here. Just nice, gentle, easy movements. Change direction. Good. Okay, let's have a short little break here just to get some hydration in us. And then we will move on to the next bit. Good. Okay, so for this next bit, we are going to be doing a little bit of stretches. So we don't want to rest too much because our muscles are nice and warm. So it's a really great time to do some stretches. We're going to start in the our shoulders area. So let's go into that now. First one we're going to do is a lat stretch, which is where we reach over to one side. We're going to hold it for 1, 2, 3, bringing it down, and then over to the other side. 1, 2, 3, and then go back and forth between the two. I'll let you count your 3 seconds here. So just feel about how long it takes roughly to do 3 seconds, then move over to the other side when you've done that. Now I'm reaching my arm up and over my head. Now I know for some of you that'll be fine, but for some that may be tricky. So if you can't reach it up and over, just come up the best we can, or even just straight across the body, but just reaching the best you can, however it looks for you. Good work. And we should feel a stretch, or maybe not feel a stretch, depending on your ability or level of how you can feel. I know for myself, I can feel the stretch, but it doesn't really feel like a stretch, if that makes sense, because of my C7 spinal cord injury. So it's I can feel some. I can feel like more like the tension on the muscle rather than feeling like a stretching feeling as such. Reach over, stretching for 3 seconds, and then over to the other side, back and forth between the two, and just feeling it. And each and every one, you might find, you're getting a little bit further with each movement. Good work. Good. Good. Okay. For this next one, we're going to stretch our upper back and our chest a bit. I'll turn to the side slightly so I can show from here. So we're going to do both arms back behind us, stretching out that chest, and then reach either one arm forwards and then bring it back and then stretch the other arm forwards. Or if you're able to stretch both forwards at the same time, feel free to do so. I just can't balance for that one. So reaching back, stretching that chest, opening it up, reaching forwards, stretching through that shoulder joint there. And then you can do the other side as well. And if you want to increase that forward stretch a bit, you can come forwards and then slightly across the body as well. That's going to help to increase that stretch a little bit. So I'll come to the front. So do that. It's coming back. And then coming forwards and across the body. And there's little changes, little subtle changes in where you're feeling that stretch as well. And for some reason, I'm really feeling these stretches today. Good work. Okay, and then the next stretch here, we're going to do our rotator cuff. So you've got two options. First option, tuck the elbows in, reaching out to the side whilst the elbows stay in, and then back in. So you go back and forth between the two. That movement there, if you're able to do that. But if you want to take it a little bit further, you can keep the elbows raised and then rotating it up and down. Let me come to here as well. So first option is keep the elbows tucked in and then rotate them out just like so. So that's option number one. Going back and forth, stretching the rotator cuffs. Option number two, keep the elbows elevated, and then it's the same movement, but the arms elevated, and that means we can get a little bit more on the internal on the way down. Certainly feel it on the external rotation on this one. Good work, everybody. Yeah, let's get that an ease off. Let's do some shoulder rotations. And change direction. Good work. Okay, let's go through our neck mobility then into our spine mobility as well. So we start nice and simple, looking up and down, back and forth between the two. Just nice, gentle, easy movements. I'll come closer again in case you need to see it from a bit closer. So just looking down, looking up, going back and forth between the two, nice and gentle, controlled. Good work. We're not trying to overstretch it here or anything. We're just trying to go for a nice, gentle range of motion. Nice and easy. When you find yourself looking down, let's just hold it there for a little bit. Let gravity take over. And just sort of stretch the back of the neck slightly as we look down. And just breathing into it as well. Feel that stretch through the back of your neck if you can. And then ease out of it. Do a couple of looking up and downs, that flexion as you look down, extension as you look up. And then when you're ready to And the next time you find yourself looking up, let's hold it there. Then we keep the mouth closed. Then we put our hand on our sternum and gently pull down to increase that stretch through the front of the neck. So repeat now, looking up, keep the mouth closed. Hand on the sternum, gently pull down, feel that stretch. Breathe into it if you can as well. Easing out of it there. A couple of looking up and downs. Just to ease out of it. Good. Let's go into our rotation now. So we're just looking from one side to the other, just nice and gentle, back and forth between the two. Nice, easy movements. Gentle back and forth between the two, nice and easy. Good work. Now, next time you find yourself looking to the left, let's hold that position there. And you may find you get a bit of a stretch doing this, but if not, let's increase that a little bit more. So we're looking to the left. Let's take our left hand and place it on our right collarbone and gently pull it diagonally down towards our armpit. This is creating more of a stretch in those neck muscles, especially between the collarbone and the jawline there. So feel that. If you're not quite feeling it, just play around with the hand position, play around with the head position as well, and just find what works for you. And keeping that mouth closed will also help. Feel that stretch there. If you can't quite feel it, just move the hand position, move the head position. You'll find a spot that works for you. But let's ease out of it for now. Let's go back and forth between the two, rotation. And then now let's go over to the other side. So now look to the right, hold that position there, take the right arm. If you need to increase the stretch, the right arm onto the left collarbone, keeping that mouth closed, pulling it diagonally downwards. Good stretch, everybody. Yeah, let's ease out of it there and go a couple of lefts and rights. Excellent. Well, let's go into our lateral flexion now. So bring one ear to one shoulder, one ear to the other shoulder, and go back and forth between the two, nice and gentle and controlled. Easy movements here. This is the lateral flexion here. You may find as you're doing this one as well, you do get a bit of a stretch in here as well as you're just going back and forth. And that's perfectly natural and normal, even just in this basic movement, to feel that stretch. These muscles tend to feel a little bit tighter, a little bit weaker. So you tend to feel a bit more of a stretch here. But the next time you find your left ear on your left shoulder, let's hold it there and just feel that stretch. Now we can increase this stretch in a couple of ways. So first of all, this might be fine just bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. But if you want to take it further, take the right arm and drop it down towards the floor. And the more you pull towards the floor, the more you're going to feel that stretch in that neck area. So a little bit of a safer way of doing it by pulling this arm down and pulling the neck over. So that's a good way to focus on it. But if you want to do a slightly different version, you can take that hand, you can bring it behind your back. And I will show you that from the back as well. So option number one is just ear to shoulder. Option number two is drop the right arm down. And option number three is to bring that arm behind you if you're able to. There's three options for you there. Find what works for you. If you haven't already, just have a play around. But let's ease out of it as we're going to do a couple of lefts and rights. And then the next time you find your right ear on your right shoulder, holding that position there and feeling the stretch down the left side here. Again, three options. Option number one, this one's good. Option number two is drop the arm down, which is my preference. Then option number three is to bring the arm behind you. So three options, find what works for you. So you get that stretch in those neck muscles. Good work. And ease out of it. Good work. Let's go into the rest of our spine now. So we're going to go through some extension and some flexion. And to do this, we pull ourselves through, extending that back, and then flexing down, going back and forth between the two. So you may find, first of all, if you can pull yourself through coming through this position, feel free to do so. But if you can't, you can always use the backrest to support you, sitting up straight, curling over. But the important thing here is to try and get the curling and the arching of the back. So as we're coming down, we're curling over. This is bending, this is curling. So we want to curl over. And then when we sit up straight, we sit up straight, and then we want to arch backwards. And the usual way I say it is we want to curl over like a shrimp or a prawn. And then you want to arch back like a high jumper. And again, go back and forth between the two, nice and gentle and controlled. Nothing too crazy here with the movement of things. In fact, with all of these spinal movements, it's more important just to do the movement than it is how far you get doing the movement. And that just helps us to open up that spine, keep things mobile, keep things healthy in that area, which is going to be very helpful in the long run for keeping that spine nice and healthy. Good work. Easing out of that, and we're going to some rotation. So rotate one side, and then rotate round to the other side. And go back and forth between the two, nice and gentle and controlled, best you can. Good work. Let's go into lateral flexion now. That's where we reach down to one side, reach down to the other, and go back and forth between the two. Nice and gentle, controlled movements. And trying to curl over. Good work, everybody. And then to finish off these spinal movements, we come around like we're in a whirlpool, kind of getting those bits in between. Good work. Let's change direction and go the opposite way. And then give that a nice little shake off. Good. We're going to do, let's just do a little hydration break to get that done. And then we go into our next bit here. Good work so far, though. Remember to keep that focus here, keep that breathing going when it feels natural to you. And it looks from where I can see some really good movements in well, everything we've done in the shoulders and the spine. So that's really helpful to keep things moving. Just before we move on to this last bit, let's just give ourselves a little bit of a check-in here. So just notice how your body is feeling at this part of the session. Give it a wiggle, give it a move. And, we've done quite a lot of mobility stuff through the spine and the shoulders. We did some stretching. So just notice how it feels and how it feels since the beginning of the session. So maybe that when you started, I know for myself, I'm very stiff today. So doing this has already helped to loosen things up and got things moving, which is really helpful and why we do these stretches and mobility movements and all those kind of things. It just really helps to make sure we're moving as best that we can do. And that is going to look different for everybody. We're going to all move different ability levels. So just hopefully you're moving a bit better within your range, which is good. All right, let's move on now and do some similar to Tai Chi like movements here. So it's nice, gentle movements with some breathing linked in, and we will get this done now. So get yourself in a nice, comfortable position. And first of all, as we breathe in, we're just going to raise our hands up to around about eye level. And as we breathe out, we just relax them back down again. So just nice. Breathe in, glide the hands up. Breathe out, bring them down. And with this, we don't need to raise them right the way above our head. Just bring them up to about eye level and then bring them back down. And what I want you to do is to almost imagine your arms like almost like paintbrushes, even just gliding up and down a canvas. And what I mean by that is to do nice, smooth movements. So I'm not trying to go like a robot, nice, smooth, smooth, fluid. I combine two words together there. And then just going through that comfortable range of motion, just bringing it up to high level and then bringing it back down. Good. Let's introduce some movements to each side. So first of all, we come up to the front and then back down. On this next one, we come up to the left side and then back down. Up to the middle again and back down. And now up to the right side and back down. Back to the middle again and back down. I'm going to let you do this in your own pace, but essentially go middle, left, middle, right, middle, left, middle, right, and just go back and forth between those movements and keep the breathing going. I like to breathe in as I lift up, breathe out as I bring down, and then we'll cycle through for the next one. Breathe in and come to the side. Good, okay. We're going to do one we haven't done for a little while, but with this breathing and movement technique, what we want to do is almost imagine we're hanging washing up on a line. So we start with, or laundry, I guess, is another word. We call it washing. I don't know what you guys call it. I think it's just laundry. We call it both. Anyway, so imagine you've got a line and you're going to peg up one bit of, let's call it a towel. Then we're going to gather it and then go right the way over to the other side. And imagine you're pegging this side. Then bring the other hand over to get to it and then come back again And essentially we're drawing the line from one to the other, and then over. And again, nice fluid motion. So imagine you're gliding the hand over to the other, and then back again, and then this one to that one, and back again. Now this one is going to be tough on the arms and the core. So if you need to take any rest, just bring the arms down, and then just bring them back up when you're ready to. Or the other option is just to bring it in closer if that's too hard to do like so. But the further out and the further up your arms are, the harder it's going to be in supporting it in the shoulders and the core. So adjust to your ability level of what you can do, but just tracing that arm over to one side and then bringing it back. Then the other arm, tracing it over, bringing it back. And then if you're not already, bring the breathing in. Breathe in as you come over. Breathe out as you go back. Good. Let's rest those arms down now. Excellent work. So there's just a little bit of Tai Chi in there. We're going to add some more in coming weeks. But we are actually going to go into our meditation here to finish off. We've got two forms of meditation. The first one's going to be our box breathing, and then we're going to go into our body scan after that. So to do the box breathing, get yourself in a nice comfortable position and just start breathing normally first of all. And as you're starting to breathe normally, I'm going to explain how we do this. So we're going to do breathing in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold the breath in for 4 seconds. Then we'll breathe out for 4 seconds and then hold the breath out for 4 seconds. So that 4, 4, 4, 4 is why it's called box breathing, because it makes a box in up. And I like to just do it in my mind as we're doing it because it helps me keep track of things. But it's breathing in 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, and then holding it out for 4 seconds before repeating the cycle. I'm going to guide you here through this so you don't have to think about anything apart from your breathing. I'll do the counting. And first of all, let's just breathe out. And then we start with our breathing in. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Hold it out, 2, 3, 4. And bring that breathing back to normal again. Just nice breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just notice in this moment how your nervous system feels, how relaxed it is, and how everything sort of come into a much more relaxed state of mind. That is how we relax our body. Deep breath exercises and that box breathing is a really great way to tap into that relaxation mode. So feel free to use that at any point in the day when you need to. But whilst we're keeping focused and keeping our attention inwards, we'll go through our body scan now. And to do this, essentially, we start from the top of our head and we go to the tip of our toes, checking in our body and seeing how it feels every step of the way. We're not trying to fix anything here. We may try and just understand our body and what it's trying to say to us a little bit more. But the idea behind this is to essentially check in with every part of your body. Sometimes if we've got an issue or a problem in one area, we can often reject the other parts of our body. So this is just to making sure that every part of our body is being looked at. So start with the top of our head And we're going to work our way down through our forehead first of all. Now I've got a little bit of a headache, which probably means I just need to have some more hydration and just making sure that I keep on top of that, which is absolutely fine. I already know that. So that's something to do. And your results may vary. You may feel good. You may feel like whatever it is. But moving down into eye sockets area, and this is an area that usually is one of the first places where you feel tired in those eyes. The eyes have been staring at a screen. They've been strained a little bit. They've been open wide in the sun. They're feeling just maybe a little bit achy. If that's the case, we know why that might be. Link it to what you've been doing today. Also, if it's feeling good, that's great. That means maybe you're rested well or whatever it may be. This is what this body scan's about. It's about checking in with each part of our body and just understanding why it feels the way it does. Move it down now into the jaw area. You're also probably feeling not too bad in the jaw. We stretch it a little bit with the neck mobility stuff, but it may also feel a little bit tired at the same time. For myself, I've been talking quite a lot, so it's not more that it's aching from talking so much, but your results may vary on how it's feeling. Moving down now in and moving around to the back, we're going to go into the neck area, and we did some neck mobility and some stretching already. So you may feel like it's maybe achy and tired, but a little bit loose as well. So it's just a loose spine, and we can give ourselves a bit of a wiggle as we go into this. So feel free to do whatever you need to determine how you feel. Down into the shoulders area, we did a lot of movement, a lot of stretches, a lot of mobility work, and mine shoulders are feeling nice and loose because of it. And that's really going to help to keep things moving in that shoulder area. Coming down our arms now into our elbows, seeing how they are. We didn't do too much with the elbows today. We'll be sure to get some more in a future class, but yeah, just feeling how it is, giving it a move around, giving it a wiggle if you need to, moving down into our wrists and just seeing how they are. A little bit clunky for me on one side, but maybe the same for you, maybe different. Just noticing how things feel. Yeah, we're going to bring that focus from our hands all the way into the central part of our body here, into the chest, and just noticing how things are, maybe wiggling the shoulders, seeing how the muscles feel, how the ligaments, tendons, and all those feel as well. Let's bring our focus around to the back and then go down our spine, and we can give it a wiggle side to side, seeing how it feels, especially when we first did our spinal movements today, noticing how it feels compared to that and keeping things moving. Good work. Let's go down now into our hips. If you can focus on those areas. I can't feel my hips, but I send the energy down there, see if anything comes back. Sometimes I get some flickers of something and I just notice it and just keep a track in that area, see how it is. But you may get more feedback from that area. Just notice and just observe. That's all we're here to do. Moving down our legs now into our knees. And although I can't feel these just like my hips, I can give them a little wiggle and get them a move and just seeing how they feel in general. So that's good. Excellent. Going down our legs all the way into our ankles, our feet, our toes. Just give it all a wiggle if you can. If you can't give it a wiggle, myself included, just put the energy, focus down into that area and see what comes back as you do so. Good. Okay, so keep the focus down there at the bottom for now. What we're going to do is 3 deep breaths together, going from the tip of our toes all the way up to the top of our head. And imagine as you do so, filling your body with like a bright white light. So nice deep breaths in through the toes, breathing up to the head. Off we go. Breathing in. 2 more. Breathing in. 1 more. Breathing in. Good. Now we're in this moment, a much more relaxed state. Let's thank ourselves for being here today, for turning up to this session. As we said, that's always the toughest part, is just to be here to do this session. You got through it, you got through the last hour, so that is absolutely fantastic. So really well done to yourself on this one. Good. When you're ready to, you can slowly start to open up the eyes. Give yourself more of a wiggle if you need to, as we bring this session to a close. Just making sure I got the time right there. I'm looking at like an old grandfather clock and it's definitely not the right time. So I'm just making sure it is the right time on my clock here. But excellent work, everybody. I saw some really good movement there, good stretching, good breathing. So yeah, very good job.